Now that we've looked at the basic systems and assets used in Unreal Engine for animation, we're going to go ahead and put it into use. We're going to set up our own animation system for a character. And to start with that, we're going to make our own existing animation by modifying one that we've been working with inside of this project. So inside of our project, if we go into the content folder, mannequin, animations, our goal here is to basically duplicate this third person blueprint, animation blueprint, one of the animations, the blend space, how everything works together so we can see from scratch. Since we don't have any animations from outside to bring in, we're just going to work with the existing stuff inside of here. We're going to modify one of the existing animations. We're going to take the third person walk. We can see that here. And we're going to modify a bit to make it look more like a shambling zombie with the arms raised up. In our content folder, let's go ahead and make a new folder. We're going to call this My Content just so we can store what we're working on in its own folder. Go back into the animations folder. And we're going to drag the third person walk into the My Content folder and copy it. We don't want to modify the existing one. Now, if we double click and open this up, here we are. We're in our animation editor. So let's go ahead and look at a quick way to add some animation by using the additive layer tracks. I'm going to drag our bar so we can stop it. And our goal is going to be basically to raise our arms up. So I'm going to navigate in the viewport, looking at the arms. Now I can click on one of the arms, and that's the one I actually want, the upper arm. Or I can use the skeleton tree to grab what I want. We're going to use the transform gizmo cycle here to go to world space. So that way when I rotate the arm itself, it's going to rotate it straight. Now if we want to, we can add a key. Then we can rotate the arm to where we want it, apply, and save. And then we go back into our map, we should have that animation working. However, that's not the way the keyframes work. If we open the animation back up, you'll notice our arm is back to normal. So let's go back to that arm itself. So we want the upper arm R. I'm going to focus it with the F key. Make sure we are in world space. What we want to do is rotate it to the location we want. I'm going to start somewhere around here and then add a key so it adds those values to our additive layer track. Now, if we apply it, that animation is now changed. And we were to scrub through, you can see what's going on. Now, the issue I had was I was not at the starting point when I set my new keyframes. The nice thing is we could go in and edit, or we'll just delete the track, and you'll find nothing ends up being changed. So we'll click on curve, remove track, and now our animation, when we hit apply, is back to normal. Because these are additive layers. We're not modifying the tracks underneath. So let's do this again. We'll go ahead and rotate our upper arm. We'll go ahead and make sure our scrubber is at the 0 frame. And we'll add a key and then apply. Now you'll see our arm is working like we expected. Now, one of the issues we have is it's not going back to the same starting point. And we also don't have this secondary point here. It's going all the way up, and we kind of don't want that. So we're going to want to lock that down. So let's go to somewhere where it doesn't go up. So around here, we'll go back to our beginning part. This is going to be our lower arm. Let's go and add a keyframe here because we want it to start off from that position and stay in that position for our starting point. Drag up to the point where it goes all the way up. So somewhere around here. Take that lower arm and drag it so it's more straight. Again, it was not perfect. In an optimal world, you'd be using animations you created outside of the engine. But now that it is where we want it, we'll go ahead and add a key there and then apply. Now, if we were to look, our arm kind of stays locked in the right place. And if we were to hit the space bar to play, it kind of works. Now, it's not perfect because you notice it's snapping because the beginning and the end aren't the same. And that's easy enough by editing the curves and copying over some frames. So let's go to our upper arm R. We're going to click on our drop down and edit the curve. And we can see our curve in our editor here. Now it's the translation and rotation that I want to copy over. So I'll go ahead and select those and zoom in or out, or you can use the focus and we'll focus here. I'm going to grab those frames and use Control-C to copy. We want the beginning and the end to match, so I'll go to the end. We'll add a new key, and I'll go ahead and Control-V to paste, so that way we're going to use those here in the same spot. We'll hit apply. Now when it plays back for that part at least, it's going to be the same. We need to make sure we close our curve editor now, and we're going to go to our lower arm and do the same thing. Go ahead and zoom out, grab our translation and rotation, select our beginning point, copy them. I'm going to go ahead and go all the way to the end, add in a key. I'm going to go ahead and paste, so it pastes in those values, and hit apply. Now it should be a little smoother. It's not perfect, but it at least is better, and it'll go back to the main point. We're kind of just got a bit of snapping just due to the way that, we're snapping back really quickly. But again, we're editing the editor. It's just something to test with. I'm going to quickly go over to the other side. So let's go to the upper arm L, and I'm going to F to focus, and I'm going to rotate around. We'll go ahead and make sure our scrubber's back at the beginning. We will move this one up, something like that. Add our key and apply. You notice we don't have too much motion on that one, so that one's good. We'll go all the way to our end. That's our upper arm. We'll edit the curve. We'll go ahead and do the same thing as before. We'll grab our keys, Control-C to copy our keys. We want to be at the end point. We'll add a new key here. You notice how it did what it wanted to, but now we'll paste, and now we have the values from here in the beginning, copy to the end, the last frame, and hit apply. Now that we're done, we'll hit save. We'll go back out, close our curve editor, and we'll play this back. And there we go. It's not perfect, but we have a little zombie walk as we are walking. In an optimal world, like I've mentioned, you would want to use your own animation created externally and matching. But if you need to do a little bit of manipulating, or maybe make something like just raising up a hand to wave, something easily done using the additive layer tracks, this is how we do it. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and work on creating our character and our animation blueprint.